Hello everyone, it's Silvia from Fairlight Tarot. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to have a look at all of the things that I bought at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in Sydney. Normally you would know this event because they tour around the US and I think they started a few years ago. Now it's becoming more and more famous, and because there's a lot of interest in these kind of things in Australia, they've actually come to Australia. They've organized a few days in Sydney, a few days in Melbourne, and I think probably also in Adelaide or Brisbane, I'm not entirely sure. But as always, I'll make sure to put the website in the description box below. It was so much fun, and I have to say, some of these things are a bit weird, but they're actually really cool. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's start with these ones. These are from a shop which is called Croak and Bones, and I don't even remember what I got, but I saw these ones and I really liked them because I don't know if you remember, if you watch my channel, you will know that I do a lot of charm casting, and sometimes if there's something that really catches my attention, I add it to my set or I create a different set. These ones, let's have a look. So it says, warning, opening this package will cause extreme happiness. By the way, I'm trying to film with a new setting today. I'm trying a new camera because, well, the iPhone is just not really good now, is it? And I'm actually using a very professional, I'm using one of the cameras that I used to use when I used to work as a documentary producer. So it's a professional camera, it's a professional Sony camera. Actually no, today I'm using the Nikon. So I have a few cameras, and during the years I just, you know, bought them whenever I was using them for work, and I ended up not using them anymore because I just use them whenever I go on a holiday, but they're so heavy. So if you're familiar with professional cameras with interchangeable lenses, you talk about, you know, sometimes we look at 3-4 kilos depending on the lens. And when I was going to places like Africa or the Galapagos or Antarctica, I needed really heavy lenses because I needed a really good zoom. And so I was carrying stuff around for, you know, if you calculate the weight of everything, all of the lenses and all of the battery packages and even the tripod or the monopod, in some cases we're looking at 10 kilos. So yeah, that's not gonna happen anymore. And I just switched to a new Sony. This one is mirrorless, so it's actually slightly lighter, but then again, when you start adding all the lenses, it's not that much lighter either. So I may look into something else because I know that these ones are from a few years ago. I'm at the same time, I'm just in awe of the cuteness of these things. I mean, look at this. Isn't it adorable? I love all of these charms. I know that, you know, it's very easy to put them up. You just buy them in bulk and then you just put them in a bag and you charge $10–15 for it. But it's the fact that there's so much care around putting together these kind of packages that I really appreciate, because it's not just the fact, okay, everyone can do something like this. It's not that. Look, I mean, look how cute this is. The little ghost. It's just that it's true that it brings happiness, because it's something, if you like these kind of things, you will know. It's the cute little things that, you know, make your day. So this is, as I said, from Croak and Bones. I also bought this one, so I seem to remember that it's a framed phone, if I remember correctly. Oh yes, it is. It's a framed mandibula, the lower part of the jaw, and I think it's a magnet, so it's a fridge magnet, but I'm going to use it for decoration because it's actually quite cute. And obviously these are not real bones, so for everything that I'm going to show you today, I just want to give you a small disclaimer. I always made sure whenever I was buying something, I always made sure that whatever I was buying was sourced ethically, so there were no harming or injuring of, for example, animals, for the specific purpose of creating the work of art, of the artifact that I ended up buying. Most of the time you will talk to the shop owners and they will explain how they do it. Unfortunately, we didn't really have time to get into these kind of things because it was so incredibly busy. And everyone was just struggling to, you know, make the queues get shorter and shorter, but it just didn't happen. I remember queuing up at one specific shop, and I stayed there for an hour, and because I really wanted something, and I did not move an inch for an hour in a queue. The queue did not move an inch. And it wasn't because, you know, they were not quick at the checkout. It's just that every time there was someone with at least, I don't know, 10 or 15 items to buy, and it was just very difficult for the queue to get moving. Finally, I went back, I went to have something to eat, and then when I got back I queued up for at least another half an hour, but I finally got to the end of the queue and I was able to exchange a couple of words, but not more than that, with the owner of the shop. In any case, so Croak and Bones, I had a lovely chat with this lady. They said that, like everyone else at the expo in Sydney, they ran out of stock, or were running quickly out of stock after only a couple of hours into the expo. I know that the expo went on for 2 days, so she was really wondering what she was going to do for the day afterwards because she had no stock back at home either. So that was an incredible success, and everyone was obviously happy about it. But on the other hand, there were more than a few kind of worried and wondering, what am I going to sell tomorrow, because they had nothing left. And, you know, I kept on telling everyone, that's a good problem to have now, is it? Okay, so Croak and Bones, I'll put the link to their website in the description box below. Let's see what else I've got. Okay, let's go with the next one. This one here, I'm just taking them up randomly. This is, okay, sorry, I can't pronounce the name, but let's see if I can focus. Okay, so this is the name, and I'll, as always, I'll put it in the description box below. I really liked this one. So this is the business card. I'm just going to open this to show you the business card of this lady creating everything. So Yumi Yum Yum, or Yummy Yum Yum. That's probably how I should have pronounced it. Yummy Yum Yum. And this one, this rabbit, that it looks as if it's actually going through a portal. And you know, and the back part, let's say, of the rabbit is bones, and the front part is still in flesh and blood, and it's got antlers. And I thought it was really very inspiring, because I like this idea of going through a portal and becoming something else, and going through some kind of a transformation. Let me just open this. Here we go. So this is, as I said, it's pretty much the same. It's a key ring. She also made really cute earrings, very similar to this one, stickers and prints. So I got the earring, which has the same, let's say, design as the business card, but I also got this print, which is absolutely, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to leave it inside the bag because I don't want to ruin it, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look how beautiful this is. I love this. I think I'm gonna use it. It's an A5 size, so I think I'm gonna use it in my Obonichi 2024 diary. Really, really cute. Absolutely love it. And she was a really lovely girl. We were talking about, you know, how busy it was and how unexpected it was, because everyone thought, okay, it's probably going to be good business, but no one could predict that it would have been that busy. There were queues, you know, in the entry door in the morning ever since they opened up. So that was a major success. Hopefully they'll come back next year, because there's a lot of interest in Australia for these kind of things. What else have I got? Okay, so sticking to illustrations, I met this also girl, Mad Dog Inc. This is her Instagram. So Instagram is absolutely fantastic. This is the type of illustrations that you can find on our shop. Really beautiful, very creative. I love the colors, I love the theme, I love the fact that it's a whole world in this little, you know, pocket size, almost locket size box, metallic box or something like that. But it's got this whole world, and you know, and there's this little witchy version of Little Red Riding Hood, accompanied by her dog. And you know, as she goes through everything, and there's this cemetery with all of the little cute ghosts and all the rest of the room of the house. And there's a cauldron here, and there's a pentacle. I really, really like the idea of putting these things together, and I just love how cute all this was. And she had so many. She had different sizes as well, obviously. So I have to say, some shops were, let's say, not necessarily expensive, let's put it this way, but obviously they were not shortchanging themselves, so they were not selling themselves short, and not even their work of art, because sometimes you have to assign the right value to something that you're selling, that you made yourself. And I strongly believe in that. However, it's also true that we are in a deep financial crisis in Australia, and you would have seen a lot of people, you know, perhaps wanting to purchase something but not being able to because of the prices. What I saw that was really selling out were the little things, stuff like that, you know, it sets you back $10, $15, $20 maximum. And you can buy, you have the illusion of not spending a lot of money, but then you buy 5 of these, and you know, you still end up spending $100, which would have been the same cost if you had bought just one item for $100. We all know how that feels like, though, when you go home and you have all of these things to look through, and it just brings you happiness, or at least it brings me happiness, which is, you know, something I'm quite happy to spend my money on. So this is, as I said, Mad Dog Inc. Illustrations, really, really cute. And what I'm going to show you next is from the shop that I was telling you about, that it was super duper busy, and this one doesn't even fit on the frame. So basically it's an old anatomic print of the brain in sections, and you know how much I love studying neuroscience. So when I saw this, I was immediately, you know, everyone was discarding it, because I think that the brain is not very interesting when it comes to, you know, the sections, the limbic system, and all the illustrations regarding the base of the brain, etc. But to someone who's actually been spending so many years in studying all these things, it's actually quite fascinating. And this is a print from 1983 originally. So obviously there's been a lot of research ever since then. I know we're talking about 40 years ago, and it is very interesting also for me to actually compare, you know, images after we've you know, finished all the imaging techniques, and back to the ones from 40 years ago. There's not much difference, obviously, but it's really it's kind of cool to be able to do that. And so I got this one from them, but so the shop is called Odd Mountain, okay, and it's called like that because it's actually in the mountains in New South Wales. So we do have mountains in New South Wales, and I'm very tall, and you don't necessarily see snow for many days a year. You do get the occasional one day or two. But what's interesting is that it is considered the green lung of New South Wales because we have so many gum trees or eucalyptus trees, and they're called the Blue Mountains because there's so many leaves that leave that kind of oil in the air that makes it look in the distance as if the air was blue. So they're not green, they are actually green, the leaves are green, but if you look into the distance, it looks as if they were actually blue, which is, you know, kind of interesting. When I got here, I really wanted to see this phenomenon. It's not 100%, no, it's not every day, but if you happen to be in Sydney, don't skip the Blue Mountains because it is rather interesting. And as I was saying, so they had this incredibly interesting collection of bones and insects preserved in resin. And so I was really going through all of them, and I would have bought, to be honest with you, I would have bought a lot more stuff, but this was the place that had absolutely like the biggest queues in the whole expo. To the point that, as I was saying, there was no advancement in the queue, and I got really tired because you had to stay standing. I was carrying stuff as well. And, you know, even though you end up chatting with whomever's around you, on the other hand, after a while, my neck was really hurting, and I just went for something to eat. And then when I got back, the queues were almost halved, and it's just a really, really beautiful specimen. It's very well preserved. They had different sizes, and I have to say that obviously the prices were matching the size, but I'm quite happy that I got something like this because I'm always being the kid, you know, in touch with nature and just spending way more time outside than I was spending inside. And obviously insects, butterflies, you know, they're so beautiful to look at. Other insects not so much, at least for me. But it's a nice color as well. I would have loved to have time to ask what the provenance was. Obviously, it might have been, you know, just a normal Australian butterfly or a species that you can find here in Australia. I don't necessarily think that they source their specimens from overseas, most likely because you would have to go through customs. In Australian customs are quite famous for being very strict. So I don't know. I'm thinking I know where their shop is, and I might go back to have a longer chat with them one day because it is very, very interesting what they have. So this one is the shop is called Odd Mountain, and it's in Katoomba. So if you're in Sydney, if you know where the Blue Mountains are, then you can definitely go pay a visit. Well, we've got another brown bag here, and to be honest with you, I actually don't even know what's inside. So let's have a quick look. There's a couple of things. I really can't remember. Let's see if there's a way to find a business card, but I can't find that either. Let's see what I've got here. Oh, okay, gotcha. So this is, I forgot to ask for the name. Let's see if we've got something here, perhaps. I doubt it though. Because so another thing that happened that was very funny, it was that everyone was running out of business cards as well. You know, because everyone that was buying something, they also wanted to know if they had a shop online, and you know, they were just literally asking for business cards all the time. So this is the cutest broomstick with you know, a leaf, a golden leaf. And I really, really liked it, and I thought to myself, it's only $5, and these guys were, you know, it looks almost as if these kind of things catch your eye more than others. So when there's a queue of 50 people trying to get on top of each other and trying to get to the checkout to buy stuff, it feels like everyone else has been left behind. So I generally tend to pay a visit to the shops that have no one there. And not to say that these guys had no one, and I'm pretty sure they were in stock, you know, almost out of stock as well. So of course they would have had a fantastic morning and sold everything they had, but by the time I got there, it was one of the places that were not receiving a lot of attention, and so I just went there, and I also had the opportunity to have a bit of a chat. And so they have this really cute shop where it's a community of friends, and they have this little shop where they each and every one of them, they bring you know, they make their own things, and everyone has got a different kind of skill, and then obviously they all contribute to the shop. So I just love this. They had a lot of miniature things. They also had a set of runes, for example, if you're interested in that. I do not remember the name now. Let's see if it says something here. No, this is... Okay, there were a few, let's say, spell kind of jars. So this is a spell jar. It's a crossroad with barley, red peppercorn, juniper berry, and cypress. And there's a crossroad here. They had a lot of these kind of things, and doesn't say anything here either. So I don't remember the name now, but what I'll do, I'll make sure to put the over impression in here on the title, so you can read it, and then you can refer it back in the description box below if you want to find out their website. They were really lovely, and as I said, they had a lot of things, really small things. So you know, even the wands or smudges or stuff like that that you can use for decoration, but also for cleansing and rituals. And it was really nice because I got this one because I felt like, you know, being at a crossroad is always very important in life, because it means that we have options. And I will never say no to having options. It's something very positive, something very intense at times. And I believe that having a spell jar that is being created with this specific purpose of helping you out whenever you are at a crossroad, it feels like somehow you're a bit, you know, well, better off. Let's say you're a bit protected. It's also funny because it attracted my attention because I am a supernatural fan. So if you're familiar with the show, you will know that crossroads are rather important throughout all the 15 seasons of Supernatural. And whenever they went to a crossroads to do a deal with the demon, it was always something, you know, bad idea, something was happening. But I always found them very, very interesting. So I just got this one, and then this is a sticker. I'm into stickers now, apparently, so it's gonna be really cute. It's waterproof, definitely. And as I said, this really cute broom that I simply adore, and it's gonna be part of my decorations. Another really beautiful, let's say, buy is these three prints. So it looks like these three... This is four, sorry. So it looks like these three belong to the same artist, but they're actually all four of them belonging to the same artist, even though they have a different style. So this one was, so the name of the artist, sorry, I'm just gonna get to that. So it's Tenchii Art or Tenchii Art. To be honest with you, I did not have enough time. Again, it was one of the most busy places that there was, and you know, you don't want to hold up the queue. So whenever I got to the checkout and I spoke to the lady, I really didn't have time to try and have a chat. So I don't know whether it's pronounced Tenchii or Tenchii. It does sound Japanese, so it could be Tenchii, but as I said, I'm not entirely sure. This is a really beautiful fox, by the way. And the reason why I got this was because I have been, well, if you look at my day of birth, is the day of the warrior. And I've also been anointed into the Order of the Warrior when I bought the Spirit's Keeper tarot by Bybee. And so I have this idea about buying all these kind of prints, or you know, cute little things related to the concept of being a warrior, being a fighter. And they had 13 different orders to which, you know, you could ascribe and buy one of these prints. This is actually printed in art paper. It's really beautiful, very thick, and I really like it. These three are slightly different. They are just normal prints, as you can tell, but I really love the art style. So these two are koi, the koi carps, which are very famous in Japanese settings, Japanese gardens. Very expensive depending on the size and the pattern on the scales, but generally speaking they are expensive. And this is a wolf, but you can tell that within the body of the wolf, or within the fur, it's got a really beautiful kind of a landscape, you know, blending in, and a constellations, reproduction of a constellation. So I really liked this idea. There was this blending of the two images, which happens as well into this narwhal, I think it is, and it's got this underwater kind of landscape as well, built within, you know, blended in with the images and more of the constellation of the night sky. So these were really cute. And so last but not least, I knew that the illustrator of the Oracle of the Witch was also there in Sydney, and her name is Mira Nordianti. And you will probably recognize the art style. So the Oracle of the Witch, unfortunately I have it, but at the time I'm filming, it's in a storage, it's still in a storage. I still have a few decks in my storage, so I will definitely make sure to go pick it up. But you'll definitely recognize the style because it's very beautiful, it's very particular as well. And just to give you an idea, you would have a character like this in the middle, and then on the outside the borders would have been red, like blood red. So very interesting. And I bought a few stickers from her, and we had a nice chat. I told her I was going to do a video on you know, everything that I bought, so I was going to mention her shop as well. Also bought this zine about being sad, written and illustrated by Melancholy Memento, and I really enjoyed this. I didn't have much time to go through it, but I think it's really nice. And what I liked is that, you know, it's very simple, but the messages that come out of this are very powerful. I also bought a couple of cards, as you can tell. Create Your Own Magic. I think this is an actual card from the Oracle, if I remember correctly. And May You Be Blessed with Abundance. I simply love this one. I may use this one for greetings, to send it to someone, but this one I'm definitely gonna keep it for myself because I really enjoy this one. So as always, I'll make sure to put the link also to the Oracle in the description box below if you want to purchase it. And that was it for today. That was my haul from the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in Sydney in December this year. It was absolutely magical, and I highly recommend it if you're in Melbourne. I think it's next weekend. I don't know the dates, and then it might still be in Australia for another stop, and then, you know, they have to go back to the US. But basically what I heard from the organization is that they have already in their website, or in their Facebook page actually, they already have all the list of the places they're going to visit next year. So in 2024 in the US, hopefully they'll plan to come to Australia again, because I think that there's a lot of interest, and after every single one of the vendors sold out, I think that there's going to be a lot of people interested in you know, selling their stuff in there as well. So thanks so much for staying with me till the end of this video. More to come. Have a great day.